Good morning, everybody. It's kind of a last minute deal here. It's a beautiful day. I think it's supposed to get around 86 here in the panhandle of Florida. It was really cloudy earlier. It's still somewhat cloudy in certain areas, but it's clearing. So I'm going to tell you what I'm trying to accomplish today. It's kind of, I was conflicted on what I was going to do today for an outdoors experience. This mic may not be working. I was having problems with it. I have a hard time seeing the screen, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm going to try and show you what we're going to do here. Trying to catch blue crabs for a disabled American veteran who has had a lot of struggles. He is just a lot of struggles, and he's a good candidate for Mission 22, so to speak. Um, I shared some information with Jason Johnson. He's going to be sharing that on Memorial Day weekend, I believe, possibly. Um, anyway, so I'm just going to talk to you right now. Like I said, I don't think this mic is working. Um, I had problems with it last week. Not really. It's operator error mostly, but I'm kind of impatient today, so I want to get after it. Um, I'm I'm out wide open out in the I can't talk much today. I'm wide open in the sun here, so I don't want my phone exposed to the heat too long because it may shut down. So I'm going to show you what I have. I have these 2-ring crab traps. I'm going to try and undo it real quick and then tell you how we're going to use this. This one looks really tangled up. I might not even use that one. Funny thing happened last week when I was talking about these crab traps. The man, these things are all jacked up. Oh Lord, I may skip these traps and do the hand lines. Hand lining for blue crabs is really fun. Uh, what I'll do is I'm going to set the hand lines and show you how we're going to operate that today. Bear with me one second. Zip ties. It's going to be part of the deal here today. Earlier, I released a video, and that was one of the items mentioned in the video. And I have a purpose for those. If I can find the end of the line here, that's one of the greatest mysteries when they roll up these twine or string, trying to find the end. All right, let me get a little pair of scissors that I happen to have available here, or I have my utility knife in my pocket. Okay, there we go. We're on this little canal that goes out to the water. That's the Garcon Point Bridge over there. Well, you can see it. I'm going to try and turn it just a little bit, but I really don't have any great way to anchor these hand lines. But there's these rocks, these big rocks, probably bigger than a cinder block. So what I'm going to do is make a big loop around those. I'm going to tie the chicken on one end, zip tie it to the line, and we're going to get started. I'm going to get the first one. Probably have a little too much there, but we can cut off any excess. Oh, beautiful day. So what I'm going to do is I'm just basically going to do like a loop knot. I'm going to give you another tip while we're talking here. Hopefully you can see me, man. It's with sunglasses on and the sun being bright on the phone, it's really hard. I can't even see the screen. Okay, I made a little loop knot right there. That's not big enough to go around the rock, but when I pull this open end through, I'm going to have this big old mouth of this rope. So I'm going to tie it around the rock. I'm going to do that right now. Bear with me 1 second, then I'll show you. It may be a little short, but I've got a plan for that one. So I'm going to leave that one on the rock. We're not going to use that one. We're going to use it off. There's like a little dock here where the boats would pull up. We're going to do the hand lines there. So I'm going to cut open the chicken pack here. I'm a little rusty on my skills. I'm doing this process a little bit different today, but we're gonna make it happen. All right, here's chicken leg. I got a loop knot here. I'm gonna cinch down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this a few times, real tight, and then I'm gonna put a zip tie on it to hold it in place. So hang tight while I get that done. I've never fished or crabbed here before, but it looked really good. I did an excursion out here one time before, looking around for future reference. It was kind of cold in the wintertime, but I was checking out the area, so I had a good vibe when I pulled up because there's a couple homeowners across this canal, and the guy right over here, he was putting out his crab pot. So that was a real good sign. It must be good crabbing here, as I suspected. We're going to find out. Don't know what the tide is doing. I'm going to guess it's incoming tide. So let me get the zip ties and then we'll get going here. A little breezy today. I'm trying to keep all my trash organized in a bag. I don't want to litter. I'm not about that at all. Okay, so I've wrapped this around a few times. I've got this zip tie. I'm going to get all slimy here. It's going to be a hell of a mess here. I'm going to try and show you. Oh, shoot. Got to. Sometimes words slip out of my mouth that aren't supposed to be televised. Videos. I'm going to try and be a good boy today. All right, here we go. This is the first time I ever tried it with the zip ties. I know what I'm trying to do. God darn it. So damn slimy, I dropped it. These neighbors are over here probably saying, look at that dumb Yankee. What the hell is he doing? All right, so I did get it. So yeah, it looks kind of jacked up, but it's not going anywhere. I'm going to cut off this tag end of the zip tie, I mean. All right, so that is one. Let me see if it hits the bottom. Okay, good news, folks. It's not real deep here, not even a couple feet. So the chicken did hit the bottom, so that wasn't a failure. So that's good. This is also the towel I had in the video from this morning. I always have a towel in my back pocket when I'm in the outdoors. You know, you're always gonna get slime or this, that, and the other thing. All right, so we're going to do another one. As I do that and fumble around and drop everything, I'm going to give you a quick recipe on how I like to do the blue crabs. In my opinion, it's the only way I will ever do it. I would never boil. That's a Cajun thing where you boil, that's just not the way you do it. So I'm going to kind of teach you, there's a couple different ways that would be considered like Maryland style. But this recipe is super easy, very, very good, very tasty. But this recipe is based on a dozen crabs. I'm going to keep working as I'm talking. I hope that's okay with you guys. I'm going to do the loop knot real quick. So yeah, it's based on a dozen crabs. You need to get a steam pot, steamer. You want approximately, I don't know, inch and a half of water in the bottom of your steamer. Put about, I don't know, maybe like an ounce of white vinegar in that. Then you add like half a can or three quarters of a can of beer into the bottom. Um, you want you want to steam the crabs. You're not going to boil the crabs, so you want it elevated. So where the water is should be just at the perforated basket that you're going to be holding the crabs in. So you're going to bring your put your crabs in. What I like to do, I'll put 6 crabs in. I'll sprinkle Old Bay all over the top and everything. Then I'll put 6 more in, sprinkle Old Bay over the top. So what you want to do is keep the lid on. You want to steam the crabs for 22 minutes. What I have learned and I like to do over the years is after 11 minutes, I'll get a tray out, and the ones that had been on the top, I'll put them on the tray and basically rotate. So the 6 that were on the bottom, once I rotate them, are now going to be on the top. So I'm just switching it up a little bit. So in a perfect world, you would steam it for 20 to 22 minutes. But as you lift the lid and you go through that process, you're going to release some of the heat. So basically, you want to do it for about 24 minutes in total because it's going to take a little bit of a process for the rotation. Um, the other thing you want to do is the bottom side of the crab. There's an apron there. It indicates whether it's male or female. You get an ice pick or the end of a knife, just puncture a hole through the bottom. It's not going to go through the top of the shell, just the bottom. So when you're steaming that water, all that vinegar and that beer and the Old Bay, and it's going to permeate the meat, and it's going to be all enclosed in that hard shell, and your blue crab's going to taste fabulous, fabulous. Um, One of my most successful YouTube videos is how to eat a blue crab. If you go watch that, that is about a year old, I'm guessing. I don't know. But when I watch my analytics, people are watching that video every day. So I've done a pretty good job on that video. A lot of people are finding me on the YouTube search engine for that video. I like it. I think it's very informative. It was a good time doing that. That was the last time my mom ate blue crabs. It probably would be the last time she ever ate a blue crab. She's not doing well. But all right, so I'm gonna get the next chicken leg on. Uh, I got so much on my mind. It's hard to get focused. I was really mad at myself. I stayed up late last night. Had a blast watching YouTube and trying to catch up on different creators and just a bunch of things. I was kind of restless. I couldn't sleep. So here we are. We're going to get this loop on here. I'm going to do a little bit different this time. I'm kind of crisscrossing it like you would a cleat if you're boating. I totally got this all jacked up, but that's why zip ties help. Oh, all right, so we're going to go like this and then zip tie it. It's hard to get a good grip on things when your hands are all slimy. One thing I do like about my store, not my store, but the store where I work at, where I'm employed, we sell a lot of meat, pork, and poultry products really cheap. So this was, let me tell you how many. I don't know how many are in this pack. These chicken legs, probably at least a dozen, if not more, for like 5.86 or something like that. So good price on that. Um, so I'm going to cut off this tag end. I'll, there's a little bit of fragments. I'm going to clean that up. So don't think I'm littering. Uh, Now I'm going to find another rock. And once I get these tied up, I'll show you a better. I'll give you a little tour here where I'm set up here. All right, so forgot to do the loop knot on this end. We'll do that real quick. Uh, if you guys like, if, if, I'm not great at knots. I'm going to tell you, I basically know a few knots, and they've been successful for me. So I don't really go out there and learn a ton of knots. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but so now we're going to bring this through the loop, get a big old loop that I can loop around the rock. That's what I'm going to do right now. So hang tight for a second. I probably have too much line on this one, but I'll be right back. The cool thing about this method for crabbing, it's called hand lining. Some people call it free lining. Hand lining is what most people call it. Unlike fishing, where you're not supposed to walk away from your fishing rod, because if you get a hit, bam, it's going to yank it in the water or whatever. Uh, these hand lines, you can just leave them out there, and the crabs are just going to sit there on the bottom, just be munching on them. They might move it a little bit, but they're not going to be aggressive, or they're going to yank it into the water or anything like that. Uh, but I'm going to tell you another. Try and kill some time. I'm going to tell you another crabbing story. I did a story time on this one also. This was really funny. There's a famous place in Maryland for crabbing called the Y River, and they're kind of not kind of they've always been real famous for the blue crabs from the Chesapeake Bay down there. And a friend of mine was this Delaware State Trooper. We used to crab together a lot of times, and he had a boat, and we it was where we went crabbing. It was probably about an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes from where we lived. And this one day, I get this bright idea. I said, Matt, let's not haul your boat and do all that. Come back and wash your boat and all that. That's stupid. Let's make it easy on ourselves. And I had a little, I forget what it was. I think a 9.9 horsepower Johnson horsepower motor. I said, let's take this. We'll just rent one of their, I call them the wooden PT boats, those big wooden rowboats. Those things were heavy. They were like 16, 17 feet long, whatever. Could have been longer than that. But so we do that. We're out there. We were miles down the river, and storm rolls in, a really bad storm, really bad. And so we had our traps out and all this stuff, and we go to start the motor. I go to start the motor, and it wouldn't start. And oh my lord, you thought we were in the Bermuda Triangle. These storms came in with lightning and wind, and it lasted forever. What did I just do? here we go. I'm talking and not paying attention. But this, we get in that. Hold on, let me get this so I can get focused. I'll tell you the rest of the story. But we're doing that, and we couldn't get it for nothing. He was pretty. I was real strong back then, kind of jacked up, but he was strong too, and he couldn't get it to start. And we paddled. I kid you not, for every 10 strokes with the oars, I mean, we might have gained 6 inches. It was crazy, but we finally got out of there. We did live. We did survive, but he was not happy with me. So the idea, the concept was right, but it didn't work out as planned. But we did a lot more crabbing after that. But we always took his boat. And in fact, you're supposed to do maintenance to your motor and all that. I didn't do any of that. That's probably why it didn't start. But it was fun. But yeah, down there it was so easy to catch crabs. It was unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna find another rock. I see a good candidate over here. You should be able to see me. Hang on. Okay, we got 3 lines out now. Trying to see where I'm gonna put one on the dock. We'll probably just go with 4 for today. I may tinker around with these 2 ring traps. Let me follow up another part of the story. When I bought these traps at Walmart the other day, I bought 2 of them through the self checkout. They were wrapped in plastic, and then when I was doing a video a while back, and I was revealing some of the things I had purchased, I realized I had 3. So somehow I bought 3 and only paid for 2 at self checkout. And anyway, now I'm going to open up the other ones, and what they must do, they must package like several when they're shipped to the store, and the employee is supposed to remove the plastic. Because now I have like I think 6 traps. I was looking at, but the traps here aren't ideal. I may not even mess with. I prefer the hand lines, but if I do figure it out today, I'm not too focused about that. But there's something else I was going to tell you. So we got 3 out. 1, 2, 3. I may put one more over here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do one more. And the thing with hand lining, what you want to do is you're going to pull your string up real slow until it's tight. And then if there are crabs on there, you're going to feel it. It's going to tug and pull a little bit. Nothing real aggressive like a fish strike, but you can feel the little vibrations. So you just gradually want to pull it. And I'm going to show you this little net I have here. I purchased this morning at Walmart. It's not ideal, but it should work. Ideally, you want a bigger mouth of the net portion, but this should work for our practical purposes here today. But the one thing you want to keep in mind, sorry, not looking at the camera. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Crabs swim from side to side. So when you're going to scoop them, net them, you don't want to go from front to back or back to front. You want to scoop from side to side. So that's one tip for you. Side to side landing blue crabs. All right, so here we go. Let's get this chicken on. All right, now I think I figured this out. All right, so we got that a little bit better. We'll loop this a little bit, get the zip tie. And the other thing is what you want to do. It's harder to crab by yourself because in a perfect scenario, you would have the hand line person pulling the line slowly, and then you have the dipper. The crab dipper would be your partner in crime. All right, so we got that one zipped on like that. Zip ties. That's not something I really knew about. I learned that from YouTube University. A lot of people do use these zip ties, which is a really good tip, actually. Growing up, I used to use kind of hard to find now. You don't find too many places that sell it, but the chicken backs. There's a lot of bones in there, and you can loop it through. They make these little hand lines for a couple bucks. You can buy them at Wally World. It's got like a built-in weight. It looks like a triangle. It looks like a big clip, like a safety pin type of thing, triangular shape. You can put that point through the whatever you're using. If you're using, I've used chicken thighs before. It goes between the bones. You clip it, throw it out. But generally, you want a little bit of weight on these. But since these chicken legs are kind of meaty, we're not going to have to worry about it. They are sinking. It's not real deep. Give me 1 second, and then I'm going to show you around. Yeah, I'm going to show you around after I untangle myself. All right, there we go. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hand lines out. Probably going to do another one here in a minute, but I want to give you kind of show you what the setup is here, give you a better feel for it. I've been talking too much. The thing that's really cool with crabbing, I find it hard to relax. It's really hard for me, but I have chairs set up. I have cold snacks with me, a little bit of a snack in the truck, but you can sit back and relax. Sometimes with fishing, if you have a lure on, you're constantly working, you're constantly working, constantly working. Which I don't mind doing that if I'm in a fishing tournament, but when I'm off, my days off, I like to try and relax. If I'm fishing off the beach or something like that, I just like to chill. And that's what's great about with these hand lines. The water's really clear today. It is a little bit breezy, but that's good. Another thing I want to tell you about with blue crabs are scavengers. They're bottom feeders. So it's after a storm, it's a good time to go crabbing because there's so much is churned up on the bottom, fish carcasses and all that. They're out, scavenging for their next meal. So when I put that last line in, I looked at the water. It is definitely an incoming tide, which is good. Uh, so I'm gonna show you around real quick. Okay, see it's a cloudy day. All these rocks. It was a really cool thing over here a little while ago. I wanted to show you. A guy was there fishing. He was a Jeep owner. He had his black lab with him, and it was just the coolest image because just a man with his best friend, his dog. And So this is kind of like the setup here. Then over here is the dock. I'm going to show you there's a couple boats here. I think you're supposed to pay. Information board over here, but I'm gonna always get nervous when I'm around the water because I can't afford to buy a new phone if it falls in. But hold this a little bit. So there you can see, there's probably some glare from you guys. That's the setup right now. So you can see it's another half-ass production, but we're going to try and make it happen. So if you saw the title, there's a gentleman I ran into recently at a park in Holt, Florida. He's a disabled American veteran. He was greatly affected. He had been in the Army, and he was discharged medically with PTSD. So he was telling me a lot about his life, his attempts to take his life, divorce, and just a bunch of stuff. Problems with a child that was at once an honor student. His ex-wife got addicted to drugs, and then the kid also got affected and went from being an honor student to basically on drugs. And so it's kind of weird how we met. He kind of just pulled up next to me. He was asking, about the fishing at this location, and I didn't know anything about it because I was new to that area. But we got talking, and he kind of he just opened up and told me his whole life story. So I felt it was my duty to. I got his phone number, and he did not want to do an interview on camera, but he kept talking. When I talked to him about that possibility, he held his head down in shame, and so I messaged him yesterday, trying to make sure he's still okay, and then I asked him if he would want some blue crabs if I caught any today, and so he said yes. So I'm hoping that we can get at least 6. I'm going to show you this dip net, and then I'll be right back. Okay, this is the dip net. Like I said, ideally you want a larger mouth opening. Uh, Ideally, you prefer it to be round. And in Maryland, a lot of the Marylanders, I've never seen one. Well, I've seen it in Florida, but in the Fort Myers, Naples region, they have the kind that are like chicken wire. They're firm. So the problem with this netting, the crabs will get in there and they'll latch onto this, and they're hard to get out of the net sometimes. You smack it on into your cooler or into your 5-gallon bucket or whatever. Sometimes they tend to cling on this. When you have that hard aluminum mesh, you can smack it and then they'll eventually let go. It's an easier system, but they're kind of expensive. They've really gotten expensive. This little doohickey right here was $9 at Wally World. I think it was $8.96 with tax. So we're going to try and go with that. I'm gonna see what's going on down here. I'm gonna do a visual first because the water is clear. And like I said, as you're pulling up, you kind of want the net already in the water, but it's hard to, unless you just, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But hang tight. Let's take a first look. Grab on. Grab on. Let go. Let go. I'm not sure if you can hear me. But when I looked over the wall, the seawall here, I could see the line had moved, and the crab pulled it underneath the little lip of the seawall. As I was pulling, he let go. I was probably a little too aggressive trying to communicate with you guys. That's a good sign. Good sign. So we're going to check the other ones. Nothing. I don't know if you can hear me, but I got a crab on, so I'm going to try and concentrate. All right, so this last line, I did have a crab, but it's like I said, it's really hard. Ideally, you want to be pulling with two hands and have the dipper, but I'm trying to do it by myself. The water is clear, and when it's clear like that, they can see you at times. A lot of times, a crab, as he gets closer to the surface, will release. Uh, so I had him less than a foot from the net, but I saw some other ones crawling around, and the ones I've seen so far are good size. So I try to keep them 99% sure Florida does not have a size limit, but I try not to keep them less than 5¼ inches. So let's keep looking. I'm going to check this again. That one looked pretty nice. Okay, we're just going to have to sit and chill, try and be patient. Um, that last line there, so a lot of bait fish were actually picking at the chicken. So that's a good sign. If there's the bait fish are going to be around, other things are going to come around too. Chicken's really good because it's oily, it's slimy, it's meaty. But some of the other types of baits that have been used in the past, like in the crab, different regions call the traps different things. In Maryland, when you have the 2 entry ports or the 4 entry port traps, in that region, they call them crab pots. Down here in Florida and probably different parts of the country, they just call them crab traps. I'm used to individual traps that are square, 4 doors that open up. That's a trap. A pot would be like an enclosed device with entry ports. But so for types of baits you can use while crabbing, pig's feet is real common with commercial crabbers because it's oily, it's real tough, it lasts longer in the bait chamber. You can use fish carcasses. I used to work at a seafood market. I used to get all kinds of fish scraps all the time, mix it all up. I put it in a mesh baggie, kind of like what you would have for like oranges, because the bait chambers were made differently back in the day. They've gotten smarter over the years, and they use a finer mesh now. But let me see. You can use. I've heard people using bull lips, cow's tongue, but if you talk to a Marylander, they're going to tell you chicken's the best. I've had more success in Florida with fish carcasses, just fish scraps in the crab pots. But um, it's all what who you talk to. But I've done a lot of crabbing in my lifetime, and I firmly believe fish carcasses in the crab pots are the best. But the there was a point I was trying to make, and I saw this guy over here with his dog. Somebody yelled squirrel, and I got all distracted. But so there was something else I was going to tell you about crabbing, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I want to show you the difference of what a male crab looks like and a female crab. Uh, it's weird. I've talked about this in the past when I was kind of a new YouTuber. In Virginia, if it's still the same, they allow you to harvest the females. In Maryland, you're not allowed to harvest the females. And the thing that sucks is the way the Chesapeake Bay is set up, Virginia is before Maryland. So all these Virginia rednecks and whatnot harvest the females, which is hurts the population because you're not going to be able to have them reproduce as successfully. But pretty sure in Florida you are allowed to harvest the females. It's not suggested, but it's not illegal. It is illegal to harvest a female crab that's egg bearing. It's like it looks spongy on its apron. Female's apron's going to almost look like a triangle. So hopefully we'll get to show you here shortly. Let me get looking, and hopefully you'll say your prayer. Somebody do the crab dance. Woo, 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 the crab dance. Be right back. Good news, folks. There's a crab on the chicken leg. It's real easy to tell because you'll see the slack in the line. The tide's going in, so the line should be going that way. The crab is taking it out towards the mouth of this canal. So hopefully I can get this done, but it's really hard doing it by yourself. We're going to try. All right, I missed them because when I went to to do the dip, there was a rock there, so I couldn't get underneath them. I hit the rock, didn't see the rock because the chicken leg was covering it up. But I'm always going to tell you the truth. You know, a lot of times you got to go through a lot of failure before you get success. Listen to me, I sound like a prophet, don't I? I wish you could see the bottom because there's a lot of rocks, so it's easy for your line to get snagged on a barnacle or what have you. But it's still a good spot. I can tell that. All right, so I always try and analyze, look for patterns. You're supposed to do that, obviously, in fishing, hunting, what have you. So what I'm noticing is, in the short period of time, my last line here has had the most success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rig up another chicken leg, and I'm going to put it off of the piling over here at this dock. I'm only going to put one because I don't want it to get, you know, somebody comes in with a boat. I don't want the rope to get tangled up in their prop or anything. But I'm just going to put one over there, see if that makes a difference. You know, they could be congregating underneath the dock. Uh, Crabs and fish are pretty smart. You know, if, just picture boaters coming in and they're dumping their bait there probably, you know, how many times a day, right? So the critters, the sea critters, are going to get smart after a while. They know that's like a free buffet when the boaters come in. So it could be good there. That's how my mind is thinking. So we're going to cut another piece of this twine. I got this is what I'm using. I don't know if how well you can see that. It's I think it was like 250 feet or whatever. I think I paid like 346 for it at Wally World. But it was a really nice day. Hopefully this is still recording and the phone's not too hot. Let me feel the phone. It doesn't feel too hot. I'm going to try and get one in the future. I don't know if you've seen those personal canopies. It's like 4 feet by 6 feet. I'm going to try and get one of those just to keep that protected, perhaps keep me protected. I do not have any sunscreen on or anything. I'm going to burn the old fashioned way. But yeah, I was really tired this morning. I woke up before 6 and I, you know, looked at the time on the phone. It was almost 6 o'clock and let me roll over here and get a couple more Z's. And next thing I know, it was 8:30 and I was mad because the days are wasting, time's are wasting. I wanted to be out here by 8. But, all right, got the loop knot here. Pull this through right here like this. Cinch it down like that. Pull it tight. Give it a couple wraps and hit it with the zip tie. I want to give you guys a little bit of an update where I stand in the YouTube world. I have 814 subscribers. I lost one overnight. Um, I'm at like 15, 20 on watch hours. So I'm getting closer to certain plateaus. if I stay aggressive and the weather works with me, no major casualties in my life, hopefully I can get there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by July 1st. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but we're going to try and make it happen. All right, now I'm going to do the loop knot on this end. I want to be able to loop it over the piling at the dock. Your loop doesn't have to be real big because I'm going to be pulling the chicken through this, and then that's going to make another circular loop, and I'm just going to put it over the piling. That's what we're doing. All right, just like that, right through. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm going to check these lines again. There's only 2 boaters here at this ramp. This one's, for whatever reasons, lesser used. If I was a boater, I would like this location because it's wide open. If someone attempted to break into your vehicle or the vehicles that are here, the neighbors could report it. So it's nice and safe, and you can get right out into the bay just like that. Literally from the ramp to the mouth of this canal, not even 50 yards. So I'm going to check these lines. I'm looking around because I felt a couple raindrops. That's not good. Looks like rain over there. Don't want to get the phone wet. I just can't tell which. It feels like the wind's blowing this way. I'm going to hang tight here for 1 second and then see what this. I think we're going to be okay, but I can hear it hitting the raindrops hitting the bag. I can feel it. Just my luck. It's not raining hard, but a few drops here and there. All right, I'm going to check these lines real quick. Hopefully I'll be all right. Folks, I'm going to put my hat over this phone for a minute. Bear with me. I do have a crab on this line. I'm just trying to protect my phone. You might be blacked out for a little bit, but I'm going to put my hat over this and try and protect it. And I'll be back to you guys. Hopefully this passes real quick. Sorry about this. Hopefully this rain's going to pass. It's starting to come down a little more steady. Bear with me, please. Almost had another crab. Operator error. I'm going to take you guys to the truck for a second. Bear with me. Sorry about this. I know this is all jacked up, but I'm trying to protect the phone. Oh, what a bummer. Weird. There wasn't any forecast of rain. What I get, right? Hold on. Let me, hold on. I'm going to start the van because it's hotter in Satan's kitchen. I've got this new holder, but I've got this device on the bottom. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, yeah. All right. So the one crab down here at the end is he's hungry, but there's rocks all around. So he's grabbing that chicken, trying to go kind of like underneath the rocks, and it's hard to dip. It's really hard to dip. And now, since the rain is starting to come down a little more plentiful, it's hard to see the water because there's so many ripples. So I can't see where he is in relationship to the rocks. So I'm going to let this pass for a minute. I'm not sure who's in here. Showing two people in here. I can see why it would be boring as hell. Showing JJ and Martin. Whoever Martin is, I didn't see that. But still coming down slightly. But I'm encouraged. When I was telling you guys earlier about the resident over here with the crab trap, I see there's a fence line here, and I see he's got another crab trap, not in the water. He's got the 4-entry port crab trap, and then looks like a bait cage, that's a good sign. You know, I thought this would be a good spot. It is a good spot. It's just really difficult hand lining by yourself. And now I think about it, those 2-ring traps that I have, the ones from Walmart, they would probably be really difficult to use in this location because all the big rocks on the bottom, they wouldn't lay flat. It'd be harder. It'd be better like on a sandy location. So I'm not too disappointed with the traps, those using the other ones. But another time I'm gonna bring out the box traps with the 4 square doors that flop down. Those are fun too. Hand lining's the best. And to me, this little bastard out here, I'm gonna catch his ass. It's a challenge now, you know. Okay, Jason's telling me the race car is debuting today. I think that's what he said. And the race car driver for the charity is going to be on the show the 26th. So that's really cool. I'm trying to put in, Jason, I'm trying to put in to leave work at 6 p.m. Central on that day. It being a holiday weekend, I don't know if they'll grant it, but if I can leave work at 6, go up the road to grab a snack real quick, go to Lowe's, I can set up, use their Wi-Fi there, and hopefully participate or at least view the show. But that gun, it's coming down really hard now. I'll be right back. I gotta get something. All right, I'm back. Boy, it's really coming down now. Doggone it. I checked the weather last night before I went to bed. It said like 8% chance of rain. There we are. 92% wrong. Feels good though. I mean, it was getting hot. It's cooling things off now. But with that rain and a little bit of the breeze picking up, it's going to get the bottom churning. I don't want it to churn too much because I like the clarity. Pros and cons, you know, the crabs can see you, you can see the crabs. But anybody that's tuning in just now, we are just on a rain delay, you know, like a baseball game. So it started raining, just chilling. I have 5 hand lines out. I just put the 5th one out. I thought that was going to be a good location, but it's really shallow under that location. It's actually deeper down here, probably because it's closer to the mouth. But the crabs are crawling. They're there. But it's really rocky bottom. So that's the only downfall. Now they'll pull that chicken and try and pull it underneath their little cave, their little rock cave, and it's hard to dip. But we'll get it. This is when times like this, if you need a hand dipper, call 1-800-GET-A-FRIEND. So I need to call 1-800-GET-A-FRIEnd, get a dipper. Daggone it. Always something, always a hurdle in life. Looks like I might be going to Rolo's Seafood, buy some crabs if they're not out. On the weekend, they're probably going to be out pretty quick. The guy told me last week they open at 9. He said it's best to get there by 8, get in line, so they sell out pretty quick. I can imagine they would. They don't do any pre-orders either, so it's first come, first serve. But the crabs there were super cheap. I said before in a video, Fort Myers area, crabs are going like $60, $70 a dozen. What this guy was telling me, they are $19.99 a dozen. He had a weird term for it. They don't sort them. Where I'm from, everywhere else I've been, they sort them by size. He said these guys know. It's just he calls it like a boat run. It is what it is. You know, whatever 12 they grab is what you're getting. They're not sorting it by size, which is good and bad, but the price is right, you know. So you can get a half dozen crabs for $10. That is dirt cheap compared to what I'm used to. You know, the closer you get to Naples, Naples is like the Beverly Hills of Florida. You know, it's crazy. So much money down there, they kind of put it to you. But not everybody has money. So, hey, Ken, I'm out here crabbing. I'm on a rain delay. We weren't supposed to get rain, but it's raining. I'm hoping this passes through. Certain areas look good and certain areas not as good. Doesn't look like there's going to be any lightning or anything or any bad weather like that, but there is rain. So I'm trying to protect the phone. Came back to the truck. Daggone it, I want to get some crabs. This is a challenge now. Like I said, the closer they get to the surface, they tend to release because they can see you. So it's best to try and be still. You don't want to wear bright clothes like bright red shirt or orange or anything like that. I kind of have a little bit of darker shirt on today, but it's difficult. You're supposed to have your dip net in the water. So I've been trying to do that, but or gradually inch it over towards the chicken leg. But we're going to get it. We're going to get that little bastard. But hopefully he's got five brothers, cousins, sisters, whatever. We're going to get some crabs today, one way or the other. You're going to learn today. That's right. Hey, Native Wild Man, have not seen you around in forever. Can't really read the screen too well. Have you ever been to the Red Crab Juicy at Pensacola North Side? No, I have not. I haven't eaten anywhere in Pensacola, to be honest with you, other than Cracker Barrel. No, I've been living pretty frugal since I've been here for obvious reasons. Feels like the rain's lightening up a little bit. Give me a minute or two, we're going to get back at it. But yeah, I want to show you these blue crabs. A male is going to have bright black. Yeah, a male blue crab will have bright blue claws. Female is going to be more red. So you can tell by the color and also the configuration of their apron on their belly. So feels like it's lightening up. I'm going to give it another 2 minutes, get the phone back out, and we're going to try and get after it. But I want to tell you about last night. This is weird. This is going to sound weird the way I'm going to start this statement off, but I have an addiction, and it's starting to bother me. I'm addicted to the forest, the Blackwater River Forest, State Forest. That's all I can think about. I feel so much more relaxed in the forest. It's just nature calling me. But I wanted to do something nice for this veteran, go crabbing. But it's weird. It's like literally once I leave the forest, I don't feel as good. Once I get to the forest, it's just relaxation. Like I've told you guys before, I don't know how to relax. But the forest, it works me. It'll soothe your soul, like I say. But all right, going to give it one more minute. Feels like it is passing, and we're going to catch us some crabs. It'd be great if I'd love to catch 12 crabs. That would be really cool. I don't have the stuff with me to do it. I do have my steamer in my storage unit. So that's a little bit of production. I don't feel like going through all that. But one of these days, I'm going to either catch the crabs or buy the crabs and go to the forest and enjoy the crabs out at probably like Carrick Lake or something like that. But still slightly drizzling, but it's easing up for sure. But Cajuns, they like to boil everything. They boil their crabs, their crawdads, and all that stuff. I don't like it, but that's how they're raised. That's how they do it. So, all right, let me take a sip of something here. We're going back out. We're going to get that little son of a gun. Hold on. All right, turning off the truck. We're going to reset up. We're going to go get us some crabs. One thing for damn sure, I would never be on Deadliest Catch or whatever that show is. Hold on. I forgot to do something. my chair is wet. So T-Money's going to have a wet bottom. All right, I'm going to go over to the dock, check that one. I'm going to get my dip net. So enjoy the view. I'll be back. What I'm going to do for you guys is after I check this one out at the dock, I'm going to turn the camera around where this one line's been active. Hopefully that little son of a gun's there and you can watch it being captured. I'll be back. All right, folks. The line is tight. The crab is on. I can see him. I'm going to set the camera up. Hopefully we can get this guy this time. What I've tried to do, I put the dip net in the water so I don't scare them. I don't want to be putting the dip net in and the crab gets startled and like that. So I'm trying to do that. He's about 6, 7 feet in front of me. So I'm gonna have to slowly pull the line towards me and towards the dip net, and then I'll try and scoop them. Like I said earlier, you have to scoop these blue crabs from side to side. That's how they swim. God damn it! I had him in the net, but the net's small. As I was pulling it up, he scooted out. He's pissed at me. He's laughing. He just gave me the middle claw. Now I'm gonna get his ass. Gave me the middle claw. Can you believe that? All right, I see another one looks taunt over here. Damn it! I should have had that one. That was that. I was pulling him right into the net. Literally, he was here. I had him in, and as I was picking it up, it kind of caught on the edge of the rock, and then he backed out. Got it. Gave me the middle claw. on, folks, I think. Feels like it. Yeah, I got one. Slowly coming towards me. I should have put the dip net in. I have the dip net in now. I got a boat approaching me. So I'm going to try and get this done before they approach here. I used to be good at this. Now I'm rookie. I'm rookie. He gave me the middle claw, too. But he gave me that away. These crabs down here are nasty. When they give you the middle claw, ooh, they some redneck crabs. Ah, that was another weird configuration. That's why I like the bigger dip net. Daggone it. But they're here. The crabs are here. Thank God it's not depending on my survival here. Well, folks, you're going to get a kick out of this. At least I'm not skunked. I'm on the board. Got me an aerator. Slightly used, slightly rusty, slightly inoperable too. But cleaning up the environment. That's what we do. G-Money cleaning up the ecosystem. If anybody's still tuned in, Tell me if you can hear that music in the background. Do you think it's going to give me any issues? I like the song. I don't want to get any issues. Not that it's going to matter. Daggone it. Can't believe I keep missing that crab. I'm going to go over to the van for a second, take care of something, and I'll be back. Some smart crabs down here. All right, back. I'm going to check the lines. The first one I set up, the line is kind of short. Some of the other ones are a little too long. But I just like the indicators. The crab's going to be pulling the chicken away. So you can see when you're, just like fishing line, you can see when your line is taut. So I'm going to take a quick gander. If you're still with me, I appreciate it. Sorry this is not as successful as I had hoped by now, but at least we're getting action. Okay, I just wanted to shoot you a comment. This applies to fishing, and crabbing basically is fishing, just for a different species. Um, you want to fish in moving water. Therefore, that means the incoming tide or the outgoing tide. There's a thing called slack tide, where the water is not moving. Usually it happens for about 20 to 30 minutes. Slack tide means it's still. It's going to be changing direction. So if the water's coming in, before it goes out, it gets still, and then it's going to go out. So it appears like it's going to be, looking at the water lines, like we're almost to slack tide. So that could be part of why we just had a temporary brief slowdown. I'm going to check these lines. Just had an idea. Maybe I ought to call DoorDash, order in some crabs, make it look like I'm catching some. Be right back. All right, I'm gonna turn the camera over here. I'm gonna chill out in the chair. Soup. I can't even read the screen. That sucks. I need a phone umbrella or something. Let's see, there's some comments. I can't see what they are. Oh boy. So this is what crabbing's all about. You know what they say about fishing? If it was catching, it'd be called catching. Just fishing and wishing. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Garcon Point Bridge takes you into Pensacola. Pensacola's in the bar. In the bar, a while back, I did a video on the fishing pier. You know how long this bridge is? Mile or two. It's a toll road, cash only. I think it's $2.75. One day I was out venturing around. I was on the other side, and next thing I know, I was on the toll road. They write you a little receipt. I mailed it in. So I'm all good. There's an aircraft overhead. This does not look like a military plane. It's like a regular passenger jet. Oh boy, man, I want to get in the forest. Debating on what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I may work my side job for a couple hours. I really don't want to do that, but if I work tomorrow, I won't have to work Monday morning. I prefer not to work Monday morning because it's my day off and I want to get out to the forest. Oh, I want to tell you something. If you guys have some downtime today, you want to see something really cool, uh, discovered a place. It's in Milton, Florida. I didn't physically discover it. I discovered it on YouTube, and I want to go out there. It's called oh hell, cold, cold something like Cold Water Campground or Cold Water something or other. But it's a really unique place. They have all these cottages and really weird. It's like a retreat area. Cold Water. It's on my phone. I sent myself an email so I wouldn't forget the name of it. But Cold Water Retreat or something like that. It's on the Cold Water River. But they have all these weird cabins and you can do yoga there and they have gardens and it's a really beautiful, it's a really large place too. I forget, it was like hundreds of acres. But I want to check that place out. And I'm sure to stay in the cabins, out of my budget. But it looked like a really cool place. Definitely, I was really impressed with the video I watched last night. There's still a lot of other places I want to get to explore. Adventures Unlimited, that place is really cool. Another campground, private campground called River's Edge Campground. On their website, they were showing a need for camp hosts. they would provide different levels. You can work off your opportunity to stay at their campground. Like if you did 12 hours, you have access to your fire ring, your little camping area, like a camp host, shower facilities. They advertise satellite Wi-Fi. Then if you did 16 hours a week, there was a different plateau or something like that. But it sounded really cool. I was gonna check into that, but some of the reviews I saw were questionable. So it's one of those things I need to get out there and analyze for myself. But a lot of the comments did say that they advertise having Wi-Fi, but there's really no signal out there, which is typical for certain parts of the forest. So that was kind of like, that's the only thing that really slowed me down from trying to go latch onto that location, is not having Wi-Fi. That would drive me nuts. But I do have shower facilities now, through the Planet Fitness. So we sit and we wait. How long have I been on here? You can see the screen. Looks like I still have charging. That's about all I can see. All right, let me check the lines. Let's do the crab dance. Whoop, whoop. Here, crabby crab. I think we got one, folks. Not in the net, but we got one on the line. Hopefully you can see. Definitely have one on the line. I had the net like this. I was pulling him towards the net. He probably got this close to the net. I went to dip, and unfortunately, he was coming forward, and I didn't have the opportunity to dip side to side. I thought I had him. I just missed him. I just flat out. I suck at this. I missed him. We're going to keep trying. I used to be good at this. I'm just rusty. And this net's too damn small. And I don't have a helper. Jason, get in your truck and get on down here. Hang tight for a second, folks. All right, the line's pulled out. This is the one that's been good for me, somewhat. You know, get me all excited. But we're gonna see if we can catch this guy. He's pretty savvy. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the dip net in. It's probably 8 feet from me. I'm gonna put the dip net in the water, let it stay there for a little bit, and gradually try and pull that chicken leg towards the net. It's hung up on a rock too. All right, if he was on there, he's off now. It was wrapped around some barnacles, so I had to kind of yank it. He'll come back for it. He keeps coming back. With the video you saw with the pool noodle, this would be a perfect thing. Cut a piece, I don't know, 18 inches or so, slip it over the handle. If it falls in the water, it's going to be near the surface and you're not going to lose it. Like I almost dropped it right there. It would have gone to the bottom. I don't know how I would have gotten it. I would take a swim or get a fishing rod out, try and hook it or something, but still a little thought, something to think about. So I want to tell you something I'm seeing. Kind of, I was trying to analyze the surroundings, what's working, what's not working. But down here under the dock, there's a bunch of bait fish just nibbling on that chicken. So that's a really good sign. So you wouldn't do it here, but you could, in theory, throw some random chicken legs out there, not attached to string, and let the bait fish nibble on it, and then throw your cast net over them. That's something to keep in mind. But they're hungry too. So am I. Guess I'm not eating crab today. And it's raining again. It doesn't even look like a rain cloud over me, but it's raining. Feels good though. It's a cool breeze. All right, I'm gonna check these lines. All right, I'm gonna move the camera, take a seat, relax. Let's see who's in here, if anybody's still in here. Oh, anybody else just tuned in? We're trying to catch some blue crabs for a disabled American veteran. My goal is to get as many as possible, but if I can get 6, that'd be a good start. I get the impression the guy is single, doesn't live with anybody. Be a nice, cool gift. Do something positive for somebody. Make a successful video. That might have to be another day. Ah, here we are. This is the real deal, folks. I like doing these type of videos because it is what it is. You know, there's no editing involved. You're not sugarcoating. You're not lying to the people. There's good days and bad days. Today is not been a good one yet, but at least we know there's activity here with the blue crabs, so that's good. One thing I forgot to tell you guys, uh, you, you do not need a special license for blue crabbing. It's covered under your saltwater fishing license. If you have a valid saltwater fishing license, you are covered. But if you're using the crab traps, the ones that I was telling you about, any type of wire type trap, you have to register those with the Florida Wildlife Commission, the FWC. They give you like a serial number. Every trap has to have it posted on there with your information. So I had some a year or two ago. Thought they were good for a lifetime, but I found out recently they're only good for the year. So you have to put that registration number for the trap on there, your information, your contact information, and affix it to the trap. So keep that in mind. The type of license I have is called a free shoreline license because I'm a Florida resident. I cannot wade in the water. I can only fish from land or saltwater. It's a free license, but it would not cover me if I go into a watercraft. That's a separate license, different license. That would be 1750 or something like that. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Take a sip, and water's getting a little choppy, so it is. The water is getting a little more murky, but because the water's getting rougher, that's going to get the crabs crawling. Go take a look. I'll be back. I'll put on the first two. All right, I'm back, folks. Talking to that guy. I don't know if you saw the guy with the Sea-Doo or not. It's called a Sea Pro. Set up for fishing. Really nice. If I wasn't doing this, I'd go down there and get a quick video, show you that. It's kind of cool setup. You see a lot of stuff, down here. A lot of crazy, I've said before, this is a YouTuber's paradise. There's so much to see. Just like that hydro bike yesterday. I would have never imagined that in my lifetime, just to see that and then have to run into them half hour later getting tacos. But that would be a cool video. Film his setup. It's a neat fishing setup. He has a dip net. He's got a couple rods on the back. He's got a cooler with some rod holders mounted onto it. I don't know what something like that would go for. I guess $5,000-6,000, maybe more. I don't know. I've never purchased one of those. Get into some skinny places with that. That's the good part. I'd rather have that than a kayak. That's for darn sure. But we're talking two different price points. Just waiting for the crabs to come back. Crab dance, the crab dance. I need to get my crab call out. Like your turkey call. Oh, it feels good. After that rain, it feels really good. Getting a little breezy. Not too hot. Hopefully my phone's going all right. The only thing I hate about this is the screen gets so dark. I don't know if there's a mode for that. Like I said, I get an umbrella or some type of cover. That little Ozark Trail 4x6 canopy, it's like $40. I'd like to get one one day. Not the highest priority. These houses here, they're all elevated. They're all on stilts. What I call them stilts. One out here on the point, which is nice, but it's nice. Don't get me wrong. They even have their AC unit elevated, about 10 feet in the air on a little platform. I see they have a fire pit underneath the house. They have a deck out there. This house over here looks a little bit nicer. Nice area. I just missed the trees. I missed the shade. I missed the forest. I missed a whole lot of grass. All right, take another look. Money almost went down. All right, I'm back. Nothing going on there yet. Heck on it. I wish he's going to be he's loading his Sea-Doo. It's a Sea-Doo Fish Pro is what it is. It's set up for fishing. That's what it's called, a Fish Pro. That's the model. So I'm going to check that out later. But I'm sitting here thinking, like I always trying to analyze what's working, what depths are working, what's going on. So directly in front of me is the short line. It is on the bottom, but it's right next to the seawall. I've had zero action on that one. A lot of times they will run up and down the seawalls and stuff like that, the crabs. But based on what I've seen so far, that's not working. They're 6 to 8 feet out from the wall. Probably where it's a little deeper there. It probably has more of a flow of whatever they're foraging for, scavengers they are. I'm going to go back and read the comments later. So if you commented and I'm not replying, it's because I just can't see the screen. It's too dark out here. But curious to see what everybody's doing today. Saturday, May 4th. Remember, folks, Mother's Day is coming up. That's the 14th. So that is a Tuesday, I think. So we got I think it's a Tuesday. So, any big plans going on? Any news going on? If you guys have not watched, check out Charles Foster from Fallen Arkansas Veterans. If you don't know his story, a lot of people know by now, but I suggest you check out his channel. He just posted a GoFundMe. It's paying for a funeral. He's trying to help his children out with funds. When he passes, they'll be somewhat taken care of, not burdened with his expenses. At the meetup at 10 Killer, they raised $3,000 for Charles. Those type of expenses are not cheap nowadays. It's beneficial if you go over and check out Charles Foster at Fallen Arkansas Veterans. He has a YouTube page and a Facebook page. He just did a video recently. When I say a short video, it was less than 3 minutes. I guess there was some controversy. Some people were feeling that he was trying to portray himself as a veteran. He's never done that. He is very respectful to veterans. So he tried to squash that rumor. He's not stealing valor, trying to bring dignity to veterans. So that's kind of important to know. Seems like a good guy. YouTube's such a big place, somebody's always going to be struggling and having problems. I've said it over and over again. I'm going to beat it into existence. But one day, hopefully with the help of others, we're going to have a fund to help people out that need it. Not everybody's financially secure. Sometimes people need help. It's not a handout. It's a hand up, to lift up, to pick me up. People might need help with electricity bill, car bill, making a mortgage payment, whatever it is. But it'd be nice to have a fund and a committee that could review the requests or vote on candidates of need. So that's something I would love to do in the future. Nobody's really commented about it. A lot of people do make donations. It's not public or anything like that. I understand that. I like the idea. Nobody's really jumped on board and said, yeah, that's a good idea. You know, I'd like to be on the committee or whatever. I have some people in mind for the committee. You know, if there's some type of boat coming in here, let me take a look real quick. Okay, looks like a little skiff of some sort, a bay boat. I'll give you a better report when it gets here. You probably can see it too, hopefully. And here's another little tip. I've mentioned this previously on videos. If you're new to a region or you're not sure what you should be using where, just like what we're about to see here, I don't see any fishing rods vertical right now, but you can see what type of rigs people are using, whether they're using popping corks, hard baits, soft baits. They're always, you know, you've got to be observant, see what other people are using. Talk to the people. Some people will tell you what's working, what's not working. How are you, sir? We got a 17-foot Carolina skiff. It's got a big old cooler. Got his water boots on. Could be a commercial fisherman of some sort. Could be a crabber. Because I don't see any fishing rods, so it could be a crabber. I'm not going to talk to him. But, all right, I'm going to check these lines. What I might do is give it another 30 minutes. If I have no luck, I'll shut the camera off. I might stay here, but I don't want to bore you guys too long. Well, it is what it is. I need a bigger net. I need a partner in crime that can be doing the dipping, or I can do the dipping and they do the pulling. But I should have 4 crabs by now. Just missed them. All right, I'm going to check these lines. Because tide has reversed directions. It's an outgoing tide now. And due to the sun that's breaking through the clouds, it's creating a glare on the water. Yeah, I have my sunglasses somewhere. I think they're in the van. Nothing on that. Check it. Found my sunglasses in the van. Sure makes a difference. I've been thinking about this anyway. I might do a video in the future about polarized sunglasses, what different colors can do for you when you're outdoors or on the water. I'm pretty sure that's a commercial crabber. He has no fishing rods and he's got a big old cooler. He's got the waterman boots on. There's a guy behind me over here at the rocks fishing. That reminds me of the story I told on Story Time a long time ago, but some people may have not gone and watched all of those. Some are pretty good, some are not, but years ago, I was coaching high school football and also working at a big tackle shop. And I popped in one day. I was just in flip-flops, shorts, t-shirt, drinking a cup of coffee. And I was told that, hey, they're catching tons of fish down at location XYZ. You know, they're even catching flounder and this, that, which is not real common for that area of Southwest Florida. Flounder are more common up here around the Panhandle. But anyway, I didn't really want to go because I'd have to go south, but then I'd have to go north for practice. But to make a long story short, I climbed a fence, a railing, and got to the water's edge. And as soon as I casted my lure, my jig head, as soon as it hit the water, bam! I caught a jack bell. It jerked me. I fell, and these rocks were these big old rocks with holes in them like Swiss cheese. I fell. My finger went in. It broke. It was laying. It was laying that way. I was all cut up. I was bleeding. I was squirting blood all over the place, and I got all messed up. I had to go to the urgent care. But when I see all those rocks, boy, did I learn a lesson there. If you're up on the rocks, you definitely do not do it in flip flops. But I need to go back and tune up a lot of things on my YouTube. A lot of people probably noticed that, but I'm negligent on when I upload videos. I don't put them to a playlist, which I really need to get in there because now I have so many daggone videos that are not categorized. I need to get better at doing that when I upload videos. It's getting choppy. Tide's going out. Crabs are not getting in the net. So well. Still fun getting out here. I'll get a little bit of a tan. I should have listened, gone to the forest. I have some videos of mine to do out there again. You can do a lot. You think you'd be limited on what you can do out there, but there's actually a lot you can do if you're a creative thinker. I got to review my notes, but I've had all kinds of notes of videos, and topics, and places to see, types of videos to do. Not enough time. I wish I was retired. Oh, May 4th, 2024. I do have fishing rods with me. They're not rigged up. I just kind of wanted to chill today in the chair, relax. All right, I'm going to check these 5 lines, then I'm going to call it a day. If there's nothing on here, I'm going to call it a day, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see what happened from this last check. Nothing on the first 2. All right, folks. I'm going to stay out here a little longer. I don't want to bore you. For a brief moment, the one on the dock, I did have crab on there. The line was taut. It was pulled out. But it was, that's the longer line. It was probably 12 to 15 feet outward. And as I'm gradually pulling it in, there's rocks and it's hidden. So he didn't really get close to the net. So that was that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Wish we could have produced a better video. But it's like fishing. You don't always get them. It reminds me of a saying. In baseball, you can fail 7 out of 10 times and still reach the Hall of Fame. So, with that being said, folks, I don't think I'm going to the Hall of Fame, but I'm going to try and catch up with you guys another time, and I'll watch this replay later. Talk to you next time.